West Street and why it's more than just a movement. To register, visit AugustaMetroChamber.com.
Watch 1226 on your side, wherever you go. From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Well, here's something you'll see every Monday. Mel Gibson on Broad Street in a trench coat with a gun. Yes, the able to shoot this exclusive video right downtown today. This was right at Braun and 7th, right in front of Edgar's on Broad. But we are so thrilled that movies are back shooting in Augusta. This is part of that same movie shoot that has Broad Street shut down all the way from 6th to 9th for much of the day.
That detour remains in place overnight. Now, they've moved inside for now, but they tell us the filming goes on until 8 o'clock tonight. But there's the movie crew, the Augusta National Women's Amateur. There's the Masters all coming up all at once. A lot more people in our downtown restaurants and our hotels as well.
We love hearing that. We love seeing that for our economy. Always important, but as local businesses are getting ready to gear up and try to basically recover from the past year we've had, they need this now more than ever. Brady Trapnell live downtown with what this bounce back means.
Yeah, Laura, we've seen lots of foot traffic across downtown today. Of course, we're here in front of that film set. We've seen movie crews out at lunch. We've seen city staff downtown cleaning up landscaping, planting flowers, all getting ready for an exciting couple weeks. It's that time of year, and it actually feels like that time of year once again.
We have folks who have visited here from New York, from Atlanta, Baltimore. Thanks for coming to the brunch house.
Asian and Danny Brown opened the brunch house downtown at the beginning of February. A movie set is right around their corner, and their first Masters tournament is next week.
Masters is only going to just add on, that traffic that is a steady flow going through the week.
Whether total strangers or locals, business is business, and it's great news for downtown.
We will see a bump. I think people who come to Augusta want to experience the downtown, and I think that's another reason that the businesses are ramping up and getting ready.
Margaret Woodard with Augusta Downtown Development says some have delayed their openings until now. Taco Cat will open up in about a month or so, and Vance's Bakery Bar opened a few weeks ago.
I think they are looking forward to people coming back, and I think it's time.
And it's time to get back to business.
So the Masters are only going to just enhance that experience that we are also able to add from Augusta.
And Augusta Traffic Engineering expects about 3,000 cars from patrons to be here for the tournament. If we just did a little math, 2 people per car, looks to be about 6,000 people here, which is, of course, a big boost for our local economy.
Brady, thanks very much. You could have not been more correct. It couldn't come at a better time after a year of COVID, but we had Clint Eastwood's film, The Mule. We had Suicide Squad, also filmed here. Nick Proto also live in the action downtown. So how's the future looking for Augusta's film business, Nick?
Well, Film Augusta tells me 2019 was a banner year for film production in the city, and they were looking forward to repeating in 2020 before COVID shut everything down. But now there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and they say they're excited about film and the future of the city.
Signs downtown say road closed, but that means business is back open. Jennifer Bowen says after a few months of standstill, the phone started ringing late last year.
People were so they were locked in. They were locked in at home. They had a lot of creativity. We actually fielded a lot of inquiries in late 2020.
In the first 3 months of this year, one production has already shot here and another is in the works.
We have received a record number of inquiries. We've had more people in town through the beginning of this year than we have before.
But it's not just the big screen making a comeback. Mustard Seed Video Production does commercials and promotional videos throughout the area. Owner Lester Lowry says they're nearly back to normal.
COVID, like I said, is starting to move out the way, so we're looking at business to pick up. So I'm looking for the phone to ring.
Bowen says with the film industry booming in Atlanta, companies are looking to get out to smaller cities in the state. And she says Augusta is the perfect spot.
Augusta has incredible, unique, versatile variety of architecture and locations. Because we are a medium-sized city, we don't have a lot of the bureaucracy or red tape or permitting process that other cities do.
I also asked Bowen what kind of impact losing the old jail would have. She said it's definitely going to be a big loss, but the city still offers plenty to make up for it.
See that jail in Suicide Squad 2 once it's released, but I think it's exciting stuff, and those mean jobs. They bring a lot of people to town, and it's a clean industry, so it's good to see the movie makers and other projects back in town. Nick, thanks.
Another great thing about Augusta, the weather, especially springtime in Augusta. So those crews out there today had a wonderful day as we take a peek over the Calhoun Expressway. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale. It's tough to pick better weather than this for those crews, Riley.
It really is forecast.
Riley, thanks. It could be some time before we know who was killed in a van explosion this morning. This was the parking lot at the Pilot gas station, Jimmy Dias Parkway, just off I-20. The coroner's office was called there around 3 in the morning. The sheriff's office tells us a man gassed up the van and then parked. Then a couple of people reported hearing the explosion and saw the van on fire. After crews put out the flames, they found the man's body inside. They're still working to identify that person and find out how the fire started.
In an exclusive interview this afternoon in Augusta, tomorrow night he'll talk with local leaders about the plan. It's tomorrow night at the Convention Center. Wednesday morning he'll stop by the vaccination site at Craig Houghton Elementary School.
Just in the last 20 minutes, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp has announced he is in quarantine now after being exposed to COVID. He just got the vaccine Friday in South Georgia, but it doesn't really take effect for a couple of weeks. Has to be in your body that long.
That timing. You hope he's okay, but meanwhile he also plans to ease back on COVID restrictions. This week he says his staff will outline plans to roll back things like restriction on large gatherings in places like restaurants and bars. So that's coming up soon.
And there seems to be a light at the end of the COVID tunnel. 3.6 million vaccine doses have been given out in South Carolina, just shy of 2 million. For both states, that translates to about 36% of the population, and more are coming, with all Georgians over 16 eligible to get the vaccine now. In South Carolina, that eligibility kicks in on Wednesday. So hopefully each thing gets us a little closer to life BC before COVID.
Yes, we are all ready for that. And News 12's Will Rio is breaking down the effort to get local colleges back to normal.
At AU Student Vaccine Clinic, getting students and staff members vaccinated may be the key to having a normal fall school year. It's an opportunity that many students have waited to have for over a year.
I'm so excited.
For AU junior Melissa Sunder,
I'm so happy I got my first dose.
this vaccine is a step towards normalcy.
I feel like the vaccine will help normalize things a little bit, make things go back to normal.
For first-year students, this school year hasn't lived up to the college hype.
I know our first years had a really tough time just being able to get to know each other and be able to form those study groups and those bonds that they need to carry on past the workforce.
That's why AU brought 250 vaccines to their students, staff, and faculty members with their first ever student vaccine clinic.
We want to get as many people vaccinated as possible so we can return to normal as quickly as we possibly can.
AU says they've resorted to doing virtual and 3D tours for incoming and current freshmen. They hope this vaccine will eliminate the need for that next school year.
There's a lot of perseverance over this past year that have gotten us to this point. And I think this teaches us a lot about the importance of being flexible and being nimble.
AU says they vaccinated more than 50,000 people in both Georgia and South Carolina, and hope to target the younger generation with these clinics right before spring break.
There's a lot of vaccine hesitancy amongst younger people, and those that are in college age are really important to focus on.
Important to focus on because AU says college-age people tested the highest for COVID over the past couple of months, and they tend to mingle with more people. Many hope this vaccine will allow them to safely be around more people and get that real college experience.
A lot of us have just been missing social interactions, and so I think that'll be really important, especially since college is about getting people together.
In Augusta, Will Rio, on your side.
Oh, yeah, I think we all miss mingling. Right now, AU says they will not make this vaccine mandatory for anyone.
Well, as things slowly return to normal, we're seeing some signs the economy is also on the mend. Augusta has more than 5,000 new job listings right now. Unemployment at 4.8. That's a big drop from 10.4 this time last year. Even though the rate is trending downward, the number of unemployment claims is still high. Georgia's Department of Labor has paid out more than $20 billion in unemployment claims over the last year. That's the most ever. They still have nearly 60,000 people waiting for their benefit eligibility hearing. Most are filing for reasons other than being laid off, which can take longer, making payments roll out a little slower.
You just have to remember that our workload right now is 300 and 400% larger than what it typically would be, and so therefore your wait times are going to be longer. There's not really a backlog, but when you consider the fact that 80% of the individuals who are currently filing individually are going to require a benefit hearing, that slows things down.
Butler's advice is to have all your information together and accurate for that very first hearing.
Grovetown officially has a new member on City Council. Soretta Smith was sworn in this morning right outside the City Council chambers. She steps in for late Councilman Alan Transu. He passed away last year after battling COVID-19. And Smith says she is prepared to follow in his footsteps.
I will carry out the remainder of his term, with the same passion, with the same zeal, with the same care, with the same compassion, and with the same servant leadership that he did.
Smith won the race with 73% of the vote against Marsha Keating. Well, they put their lives on the line for our safety, but are all of our veterans receiving the same level of care? Coming up, our I-Team looks at the disparities female vets face and how our local VA is responding.
And it was a beautiful day out there, a great way to start off the work week, but springtime means we do have more storms on the way later this week. We'll take a look at wind coming up.
Well, let me tell you what. A national report recently exposed serious gaps for our female veterans. And while I was working on this story, I learned there are big plans for Augusta's female veterans, a first-of-its-kind facility that will combine the Charlie Norwood VA and Eisenhower Medical Center at Fort Gordon with a goal of providing the best women's care for veterans in the region. Our local leaders are working still on the final location. They're working out those details, but recognizing female veterans need this is a really important first step. A study by Disabled American Veterans found America's nearly 300,000 female vets are put at risk by a system designed and, quote, dominated by male veterans. So I went to work to see what that means for the 7,000 women here at home that rely on our local VA.
This was a joke that the men played on me, which a machine knocked me into a wall and injured my spinal cord.
Navy veteran and local mother Angel Couch still struggles with that back injury from her time serving on base in Key West, Florida during the Vietnam War.
Buster, he's my lifeline.
With her emotional support dog at her side, she tells me she still struggles with the invisible wounds too.
It was a very bad time for women like us because of the molestations, the rapes.
She says many women she served with decades ago suffered as well.
I'm the only one left. I'm the only one alive. Everybody else, PTSD, it just took them. It took them away.
Angel says she's been suicidal herself. And through the anxiety and the pain, she's been willing to share her story with those willing to listen to her truth.
When I got out of the service, I had to testify. And they sent me to Washington, D.C. I testified about what happened to me while I was in the Navy. 3 hours.
According to a new report by Disabled American Veterans, Angel is one of 7,000 women who served during the Vietnam War. Another 41,000 females served in the first Gulf War. And post 9/11, more than 280,000 women signed up to protect our country. The I-Team analyzed the data, and we found women are the fastest growing segment of the military, making up 20% of new recruits. Despite that enormous growth, researchers found women veterans face a homecoming that is remarkably different than their male counterparts, concluding we identified serious gaps in every aspect of the programs that serve women, including healthcare, employment, finance, housing, social issues, and the eradication of sexual assault. It's something Angel tells me she's seen firsthand for decades.
Being a female, they really don't talk much about that. Everything is about the men. It's the men. As a female veteran, no. They'll give you some medication, tell you to take Tylenol, get rest, maybe you're going through menopause. And then when you say no, I know my body, something's not right.
I went to the Charlie Norwood VA and found they are listening.
Several years back, we recognized the need to really focus on the special needs and circumstances that women veterans bring to to the forefront.
Dr. Terry Lockhart has been with the Augusta VA as a doctor for 28 years.
Here at Charlie Norwood VA Medical Center, our women veterans have been very vocal about the need of wanting mammogram services. So as a result, in June of 2020, we opened our very own mammogram service.
The I-Team found in less than a year, that new mammography unit has now scanned nearly 1,800 veterans and detected 7 cases of breast cancer. Now there are plans to establish a certified breast health center of excellence at Charlie Norwood VA. Dr. Lockhart is now the chief of staff and works directly on overseeing improved care for female veterans through new outreach programs.
What are their frustrations?
So one of the unfortunate things that we hear and have experienced is military sexual trauma has played a part in the whole health of the individual.
They've added in new screening to find those assault cases and also domestic violence cases. Another issue in Augusta, she says, homelessness for women who've served. Disabled Veterans of America found post 9/11 females have a harder time finding employment than males. Now they have social workers out in Augusta at the homeless shelters looking for these veterans to try to get them the help they need and deserve.
I think there's a lot we can continue to learn as we do our screenings and communicate with our patients, one veteran at a time, one encounter at a time. My hope in 5 to 10 years is that we have been able to successfully close the gap.
Women like Angel now make up 14% of the patient population at the Augusta VA.
I actually had to seek outside help, but I do still have my VA doctors too.
And hopefully soon, 100% of the VA patients can feel they get 100% equal care.
So Dr. Lockhart says this new facility they want to open is called the SKIP Project, and the goal is for it to be a standalone facility offering everything from primary care to female services to mental health. They really want this to be a regional hub geared just for women, and it will be right here in Augusta.
Good to see the VA is listening, Laura. Thanks for that. To weather now as we check in with First Alert.
On that severe weather threat for your Wednesday, as of right now, it does look fairly low.
Sounds good, Riley. Thank you. The golfers in the women's amateur hit the fairways starting tomorrow, but today, golfers in Aiken hit the green for a good cause. The Triple Crown Golf Classic just wrapping up over at Woodside Country Club in Aiken. This charity tournament has been going on for 25 years now. All the money they raise benefits the Tri-Community Development Center as well as Helping Hands.
Well, the golfers have arrived, and the Augusta National Women's Amateur begins Wednesday. We're going to hear from the UGA delegation coming up next with Mike.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
After being canceled last year, the Augusta National Women's Amateur is back. The players have arrived, and we're on the dawn of the practice round at Champions Retreat. This year, there are 3 ladies representing UGA. Katarina Dawn and Candice May both played in the inaugural 2019 tournament. Dawn says her game has improved a lot, but still expects to have nerves if she's playing on Saturday.
My caddy were in the first year at Augusta National for the practice round, and we were considering the yardage to the bunker, and he was like, you can hit a 3-wood, and I looked him straight in the face and I was like, I don't think I can hit a 3-wood off the first tee tomorrow morning. My hands will be shaking, and 3-woods can not fly, and a driver will fly in the sky for sure.
Nerves aside, none of the UGA ladies could deny that this is the experience of a lifetime. None are taking that for granted either. Catherine May has played the National once outside of the women's tournament and wants to use that marble to her advantage this week.
Like, you can't stop smiling, even if your game is not as good as you expect. It's just such an incredible event, and it's definitely a week of lifetime. You're not going to play Champions Retreat or Augusta every day, so you need to keep the right attitude about that.
May also has the same caddy as 2019 tournament winner Jennifer Kupcho. Look for her to be a contender come Saturday. We get a double dose of NASCAR today, and even more exciting, it's on a dirt track at Bristol. Martin Truex took the Truck Series. Highlights from the Cup Series coming up tonight.
There's a lot of dirt to clean up over on that track, Mike. Thank you for that.
All right, outside today, gorgeous weather, Riley. We loved it.
It was beautiful weather. Despite the rain this weekend, I still had yellow on my car waking up today. And unfortunately, if you want to wash the car the next couple of days, we will have rain chances. Then look at that forecast next.
Big Rigs has